Heartbreak doesn't just break your heart. It breaks the future you imagined, the messages you'll never receive, the memories you'll never create, the person you thought would stay forever. Most people try to escape this pain. The Stoics did something different. They used heartbreak as a teacher, because sometimes the greatest loss of your life becomes the greatest turning point of your character. If your heart has ever been shattered, don't scroll away. The next few minutes may completely change the way you see pain. People often believe they're grieving a person, but that's only part of the truth. What hurts even more is the future you built in your mind. The plans, the conversations, the dreams, the version of life you thought was waiting for you. When that future disappears, it feels as if a part of your identity disappears with it. This is why heartbreak can feel so overwhelming. You're not only losing someone, you're losing the story you kept telling yourself. Imagine holding a beautiful glass in your hands. Every day, you become more attached to it. Then one day, it slips. It shatters. The pain doesn't come from the glass alone. It comes from believing it would always be there. The Stoics understood this long before modern psychology. They believed suffering grows when we treat temporary things as permanent. People change. Circumstances change. Relationships change. Nothing outside of you is guaranteed to remain forever. This doesn't mean you shouldn't love deeply. It means you should love wisely. Appreciate people while they're with you, without believing your peace depends on them staying. Because the moment your happiness depends entirely on another person, your peace is no longer yours. It belongs to someone else. And anything placed completely in another person's hands can one day be taken away. After heartbreak, most people fight reality. They replay old conversations. They read old messages. They wonder, what if I had said something different? What if I had tried harder? What if they come back? Their body remains in the present, but their mind lives in the past. Imagine standing on the shore, watching a ship disappear over the horizon. You can scream, you can cry, you can beg the ocean to bring it back, but the tide keeps moving. Life works the same way. The Stoics believe that suffering grows whenever we argue with reality. Not because reality is cruel, but because reality never negotiates. If someone has chosen to leave, that decision already belongs to the past. Your energy belongs to the present. Every day you spend chasing what is already gone is another day stolen from the person you're capable of becoming. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that life is always changing. Everything arrives, everything leaves. Resisting this truth only deepens pain. Acceptance isn't giving up. Acceptance is seeing reality clearly, without demanding that it become different. The strongest people are not those who never experience heartbreak. They're the ones who stop chasing closed doors and begin walking toward the ones still waiting to open. Everything begins with one simple question. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Ask yourself, what is this experience trying to teach me? That single shift changes everything. Suddenly, heartbreak is no longer just an ending. It becomes the beginning of a new version of you. Pain has a way of revealing what comfort often hides. It exposes where you've become emotionally attached. It uncovers the beliefs that quietly shaped your happiness. And it shines a light on the parts of yourself you've ignored for far too long. The Stoics believe that every hardship carries a lesson, not because suffering is something to celebrate, but because it gives you the opportunity to grow. Imagine a sculptor looking at a rough block of marble. Most people see nothing more than an ordinary stone. The sculptor sees a masterpiece waiting to be uncovered. Heartbreak is no different. Right now, it may feel heavy, confusing, even impossible to carry. But hidden inside this difficult chapter, there is patience you haven't developed, strength you haven't discovered, and wisdom you couldn't have gained any other way. You cannot decide who chooses to stay in your life, and you cannot force someone who has already chosen to leave. But you can always choose the person you're becoming because of this experience. Some people allow heartbreak to make them resentful. Others allow it to make them wiser. The pain may be similar, but the outcome depends on the mindset. The Stoics never judged a person's strength by the amount of suffering they faced. They judged it by the character that suffering helped create. So maybe this chapter isn't here to destroy you. Maybe it's preparing you for a stronger, calmer, and wiser version of yourself. A version that could only be shaped through this very experience. Every painful experience leaves you with two choices. You can allow it to become a permanent wound, or you can allow it to become a source of strength. Most people believe healing means forgetting. The Stoics believed healing means growing. Imagine a blacksmith placing steel into a blazing fire. The heat isn't there to destroy the metal. It's there to shape it. Without fire, the steel remains ordinary. Without hardship, character often remains untested. Heartbreak is your fire. It forces you to face silence, loneliness, unanswered questions, and the uncomfortable truth that some things are beyond your control. But hidden inside that pain is an opportunity few people notice. You begin learning how to enjoy your own company, how to find peace without constant reassurance, how to build confidence that doesn't depend on someone else's love. Every difficult morning you survive, every tear you wipe away, every day you choose to move forward, is strengthening a part of you that comfort never could. One day you'll realize the pain didn't disappear overnight. You simply became stronger than it. And that's the kind of strength no one can ever take from you. One of the hardest parts of heartbreak is forgetting who you were before the relationship. You become so connected to another person's presence that when they leave, you feel like you've lost yourself too. But maybe you didn't lose yourself. Maybe you simply stopped paying attention to yourself. The Stoics believed your identity should never rest on things outside your control. Not on someone's approval, not on someone's attention, not even on someone's love. Because when your identity depends on another person, your peace becomes fragile. Imagine a tree growing beside another tree. Over time, their branches become tangled. When one tree is removed, the other doesn't die. It simply needs time to grow in its own direction again. Your life is no different. This is your chance to rediscover the person beneath the heartbreak. Read the books you've ignored. Strengthen your body. Learn new skills. Spend time in silence. Reconnect with the dreams that existed long before this relationship. Don't ask, how do I get them back? Ask, how do I become someone I'm proud to be? Because when you rebuild your identity from within, no departure can ever completely destroy you again. Right now, it may feel impossible to imagine life without this pain, but feelings are not forever. Storms don't remain in the sky forever. Winter doesn't last forever. Neither does heartbreak. The Stoics often reminded themselves that everything changes, not to become emotionally distant, but to remember that no difficult season stays the same forever. Imagine walking through a long tunnel. Halfway through, it feels endless. You wonder if the light even exists. But the light was always there. You simply hadn't reached it yet. Healing works the same way. Some days, you'll take 3 steps forward. Other days, you'll feel like you've taken 2 steps back. That's not failure. That's healing. Slowly, the memories stop hurting. The silence becomes peaceful instead of painful. You stop looking at your phone, hoping for a message that never comes. And one morning, you wake up and realize. You smile before remembering what happened. That's the moment you understand something extraordinary. Your heart didn't become smaller. It became stronger. Not because life became easier, but because you learned that peace is something you create, not something another person gives you. One day, you'll look back on this chapter, not with anger, not with regret, but with gratitude, because you'll realize the heartbreak that once felt like the end was quietly becoming the beginning. It taught you patience. It taught you resilience. It taught you the difference between attachment and genuine love. Most importantly, it taught you that your worth was never determined by who chose to stay or who decided to leave. Real strength begins the moment you stop asking someone else to heal the emptiness inside you and start building a life that feels whole on its own. The people meant to walk beside you will add to your peace. They will never become the source of it. So don't fear heartbreak. Fear remaining the same because of it. Let this pain become your teacher, not your identity, because the strongest hearts are not the ones that never break. They're the ones that learn how to love without losing themselves. If this message brought you even a little peace, subscribe and continue this journey of wisdom, resilience, and self-mastery. Each lesson is designed to help you build a stronger mind, a calmer heart, and a life that no loss can easily shake. And before you go, tell me in the comments, what is one lesson heartbreak has taught you that made you stronger? Your story may be the encouragement someone else needs today.